Welcome to the Seed of Israel YouTube video channel. Who were the founding mothers of Ashkenazi Jewry? Women from the Levant or women assimilated from Europe? A new 2025 genetic study revisits that question and finds that the vast majority of Ashkenazi maternal lineages are genuine founding lineages, not simple quote-unquote absorbed host population lines, strengthening the case for a substantial Middle Eastern origin on both the maternal and paternal sides. This matters not only to genetics, but also to political arguments that tried to use DNA to deny Jewish ties to the Levantine Middle East. Quick primer: mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, follows the maternal line. Y chromosome markers follow paternal lines. Autosomal DNA mixes both and the rest of your ancestors. A single type of data can't answer everything, but uniparental markers are powerful for tracing lineage founders and founder events. The 2025 study by Livni and Skorecki develops and applies a method that separates founder mtDNA lineages, which are those that were present in the small early founder group and show up multiple times today, from absorbed or host population singletons, which are lineages that entered later from the surrounding non-Jewish population and appear only once in a modern sample. Using frequency patterns and extinction models, they conclude that a large majority of modern Ashkenazi mtDNA lineages are founder lineages, not late European absorptions. And they estimate the early founding population was small, on the order of a few hundred individuals. Why is this important? For years, a widely circulating narrative, used sometimes by critics of Zionism and by anti-Semites invoking the quote-unquote chazar or conversion hypotheses, claimed Ashkenazi Jews are mostly descendants of European women who converted and therefore are not indigenous to the Levant. That view rests heavily on interpretations of mtDNA that treated many rare lineages as evidence of European female assimilation. The new Livni and Skorecki analysis challenges that. If most lineages are founders, and if those founders trace to the ancient Jewish Levantine population, then the claim that Ashkenazi Jews are predominantly European converts is not supported by the best current uniparental analysis. A quick reality check. Genetics literature has not been unanimous. Classic work, Behar et al., 2006-2008, identified a small number of major mtDNA founder lineages in Ashkenazim, notably clusters within haplogroup K and N1b, and concluded those lineages expanded in Europe, but were likely descended from a Near Eastern founding population. Later, a 2013 study, Costa et al., reanalyzed some founder subclades and argued that those specific founders showed deep European affinities, implying notable female assimilation in Europe. The new 2025 study doesn't erase the Costa paper, but it reframes the question. Most Ashkenazi mtDNA lineages are founder lineages, not late singletons, and therefore the burden is on claims that a majority of maternal ancestry is European. In short, there's debate about the geographic origin of particular subclades, but the new paper strengthens the conclusion that maternal founders were not mostly recent European absorptions. mtDNA and the major Ashkenazi founder clusters, often linked to the Near East Levantine ancestry or regarded as founder lineages, include haplogroup K, especially subclades K1A1B1A, K1A9, K2A2A1. K is one of the largest Ashkenazi mtDNA founder clusters. Debate exists whether some K founder subclades have deeper European versus Near Eastern roots. Haplogroup N1b. A distinctive Ashkenazi N1b clade appears as a single founder lineage in many studies. N1b is relatively rare in Europe at large. Other common Ashkenazi mtDNA haplogroups that include Near Eastern distributions in parts of their tree: J1, T2, U, non-K, and some H subclades, Many of these are found among Near Eastern and Jewish populations, as well as Europe. Phylogeographic interpretation requires looking at the precise subclade. And what about Y-DNA, paternal lineages with strong Near Eastern signals and Ashkenazi samples? Well, they include J1 and J2, classical Near Eastern Y haplogroups frequently seen among Jewish and Levantine groups. EM35, E1B1B, present in Levantine populations and in Jewish communities. G2, found among Near East Caucasus and Jewish groups. R1A-M582, an Ashkenazi R1A subclade, common among Ashkenazi Levites. High-resolution studies indicate this subclade has affinities to the Near East, i.e. it's a distinct Ashkenazi clade whose closest relatives are in the Near East, not a simple recent European introgression. Short caveat. These are broad labels. For any haplogroup, the geographic signal depends on which subclade you trace. Some subbranches are anciently European, others are anciently Near Eastern. The correct statement is about the specific founder subclades and their closest genetic relatives. What we can say, supported by literature, is that a small number of mtDNA founder clusters account for a large fraction of Ashkenazi maternal lineages. This is from Behar et al., Costa, and follow-ups. The 2025 Livni and Skorecki paper argues most Ashkenazi mtDNA in modern samples are founder lineages rather than singletons absorbed late from host populations, which reduces the force of claims that Ashkenazi maternal ancestry is predominantly European. Y chromosome studies consistently show strong Near Eastern signals in many major Ashkenazi paternal lineages. Some Ashkenazi-specific paternal subclades, e.g. R1A-M582 and Levites, appear to have Near Eastern affinities when looked at high resolution. What we can't say with certainty yet, that every Ashkenazi founder subclade is unambiguously Levantine Middle Eastern. Some founder subclades, notably particular K subbranches, have been argued to show ancient European affinities in other analyses, Costa 2013. Genetic geography depends on subclade resolution and sample coverage. Genetics is sometimes misused by political actors who want a simple, single proof that a population is or isn't quote-unquote indigenous. That's a misuse. Still, when multiple lines of genetic evidence, Y, mtDNA founder analysis, and autosomal data point to a substantial Levantine Middle Eastern component among Ashkenazi Jews, and when a new study shows most maternal lineages are founder lineages rather than late host population singletons, then claims that Ashkenazi Jews are mostly European converts or are unrelated to the ancient Levant are not supported by the best current evidence. Bottom line, the 2025 founder versus host mtDNA analysis strengthens the case that most Ashkenazi maternal founders are founder lineages, and that interpretation favors substantial Levantine Middle Eastern ties on the maternal side as well as the paternal. This doesn't erase all complexity. Some specific founder subclades have contested geographic roots, but it does undercut simplistic political claims that try to use genetics to deny Jewish indigeneity to the Levant. Thank you for watching.